Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Julia. I'm a first year at Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts, and today's video is going to be on adjusting to college life as a freshman. So our three topics are going to be move-in and orientation / social life, academics, and then being independent / being away from home. So here we go. First, move-in. So I am living in a hotel, so my move-in looked a little bit different, but when you first arrive at college, you'll typically have a scheduled move-in day. They'll give you all the information you need to know about your place, your roommates. Typically, for at least Northeastern, we get it a month in advance, and then from there, when you arrive, they'll give you like a pretty big box that you can roll your stuff in. It's pretty much like a hamper that they give you for your things. I personally only brought one big suitcase and then one carry-on, and that's all I needed for my clothes and anything else, and then I just bought everything else here. So that's mostly because I was moving from across the country, but I know people who've driven up and they just bring everything with them. So for example though, I bought this entire bedspread once I arrived, and so I didn't really need a ton of luggage, so that's all I brought for actual move-in. Your first week will be orientation as a freshman. So orientation at Northeastern is kind of different than I expected. I was in the ACES program though, so the ACES program is the Alliance of Civically Engaged Students, and our orientation was a lot different because we were actually waking up at 8 a.m. to go and do service projects because all of us had been kind of accepted into this program that had us doing community service and building partnerships around Boston. So besides that, unless you're doing ACES, which I can obviously answer more with, follow me on TikTok, I might talk about it there. Besides that, your normal orientation, they have an app for it here at Northeastern, and they basically go and give you all of the events that you're required to attend or optional to attend. The only two required events, or maybe three, were convocation, which I'll put here. What was the second one? Oh, meeting with your residence hall, like your RA and your entire floor. That was the second one. And the third one was meeting with your college and your advisors. So those were all put on by the school. And then otherwise throughout the whole week, they just had a ton of events going on. So that was trolley tours around Boston. They had a Fenway Park tour. They were handing out free tickets to a bunch of different events on and off campus. And then otherwise, you could just go and join any of the lawn games they had set up or any of the events that were going on to introduce people to each other. A lot of the first week is just introducing yourself to each other and getting Snapchats. So that leads me to kind of social life, social scene. You're going to meet so many people in your first week of college and get a lot of Snapchat, Instagram, phone numbers. Just remember, this is my number one piece of advice, is to put where you met that person behind their name, because it's a lot easier when you go Julia Henning on Centennial or Julia Henning at Fenway Park or whatever it may be. I will also say 90% of the time you probably won't run into that person and snap them or text them, but it's worth getting their number just in case, because I feel like there was a girl I met in the middle of Centennial my first week, and we traded Snapchats, and then I walked into my first day of my theater class and she was in there. So it definitely is some way to meet people ahead of classes. And Northeastern's a pretty big university, but we like to say that it feels small when you start doing things like that and you start noticing people around. Because I could walk through campus for 10 minutes, and in those 10 minutes, I'd probably run into someone I knew. So it's just great to start building acquaintances from there, and that's how you build your friend group. Also, go introduce yourself to the people on your floor. That's a great way to meet people. Keep your door open. For some reason, the RAs came by and told us that we couldn't keep our door open, which felt kind of counteractive, but I get that it was a safety issue or something. Fun little side note, my dad, before he left, he bought me this little doorstop to put in front of the door because he wanted me to be able to keep my door open and meet new people, and I think that is so cute. Kind of cheesy, but so cute. Okay, so second is academics. So personally, I haven't felt that my first year has been much harder than high school, but I was also in the International Baccalaureate program in high school, which is just a whole nother level of things. So generally speaking, your homework is going to be a lot more, I would say for humanities majors, a lot more reading than you're used to. All my poli-sci homework is just reading and taking notes. For STEM majors, I can't speak as much to that, but from what I've seen, it's just like lecture styles for your first year. So you're going to be taking notes in class and you're going to be tested on it. Kind of similar to high school, but I've heard people say it's a lot harder because it's just a different level. It's college, obviously. I think I've lucked out as a journalism and political science major for my first year because I've taken generally easy classes. I've kind of lucked out on professors and pretty easy classes, so kind of makes me concerned for second year. But first year humanities classes, especially like first year writing, you're gonna be able to breeze through them pretty easily if you've had previous high school experience, any sort of writing experience in general. Most freshmen start by fulfilling their requirements, so that's, like I said, first year writing, typically some sort of biology or chem if you still need to fulfill a science requirement, or if you're a STEM major, obviously, and you haven't gotten that SAP credit. And then at Northeastern, they have an intro to college course, so that's kind of a 1 hour course. I'm taking it right now, actually, because I was in NUN, but it's just kind of like, sometimes they have you planning or learning about how to note take. Sometimes they have you deciding how your next 4 years are going to look. In mine, it's a journalism-based one, so we hear from different professors in different styles of journalism from the university to expect what next courses might be coming up in our academic careers. And then your other courses are just going to be kind of introductions to your major. So I took an intro journalism course and an intro poli-sci course, and yeah, kind of what you would expect. Okay, enough with academics. So lastly, I'm going to talk about independence, kind of moving away from home. I personally found that my first month I was so busy that I didn't have any time to feel homesick or miss my family, but I know people who really took the first month hard, so kind of like a 50-50 split. I mean, if you've never had any experience going away from home, it's definitely going to be a little harder. Me personally, I spent some time abroad my 10th grade year, and I also know people who were like boarding during their high school years, so they had already kind of known what it's like to live away from home. That being said, if you've never moved away from home, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be homesick. Like, maybe you'll still have the exact same experience. I've met very few people, if at all no people, who've said that they've never missed home at college. It's especially difficult when you're going through something tough and you want those people who are in your life in high school to be back, even if it's just your friends. I know people for sure who were like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not living with my parents anymore, and as far as being in college in general and trying to grow up. But as far as even just missing friends, like, you had that whole time in high school to bond with people, and now you're all going your separate ways. It can definitely make you feel homesick at times. I will say something my brother and I have talked about is when you are gone and then you go back home for a weekend because you feel homesick, you'll notice that there's not much more to miss at home other than your parents, because all your friends aren't going to be there either, unless they're taking gap years, and I only had one friend staying home. And otherwise, it's like your pets and your family. And those are great things to go home for, but if you're going home to become fulfilled and feel like you were missing so much at home, there's not much more you're missing out on. It's great to just start building connections at college so you can have those people there for you when you're going through tough things that your parents or guardians or friends would normally help you through. As far as independence goes, I personally really love being on my own sometimes. My first month of going and buying food and going out and everything like that on my own was really cool to me. And also being in a city where I could just walk around was also really cool. It's definitely an adjustment if you're used to having a curfew and you don't have a curfew, or if you're used to someone telling you when to eat or when to shower or when to go to sleep and you don't have those things. It definitely takes self-discipline, so that's definitely a learning curve especially. And I will say that independence feels nice like 99% of the time. There's that 1% where you get super sick at school or something goes terribly wrong and you really need someone there. And that's why building those college connections are so important, because that's when you start feeling homesick, is when you can't have someone there to lean your head on their shoulder. That being said, I personally believe that the benefits of college and independence and social life outweigh the times in which I miss home. It's just fun to be in a college town. There's so many other people around you going through the same things you are, We're all experiencing college classes for the first time. We're all experiencing going out into a new city. And if you stay open to meeting new people all the time, it's just gonna get better and better. With that, I feel like I barely scratched the surface on your first year adjustments, but if you have any questions for me, please leave them below or comment on my TikTok or my Instagram. They're right here. And be sure to follow me too, subscribe to my channel, get notifications when I post, and leave a thumbs up if you want to see more content like this. I have some great stuff coming your way. I'm sorry I got off my posting schedule. Midterms are absolutely crazy. I'll be back with videos. We're doing one right now, and I'm gonna have another one for you on Monday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!